Watch us now with that.
Versus the South, a rematch of the 1982 Pony Bowl. Stay tuned for exciting junior college football on your Fullerton College television network. Fullerton College Television presents Hornet Football. Today, the 1984 Pony Bowl. The matchup, the Fullerton College Hornets versus the Saddleback College Gauchos. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Labard Stadium on a great, beautiful afternoon, December 1st here at, should be a great game. Lon Bronk along with you, Jeff Barton here also, and we should have a good one today between two of the finer junior college football teams in the state of California.
It's interesting that the two of them are so good in Orange County also. And so it's the Orange County bragging rights, two powerhouses. Should be a real exciting game.
Well, a 9-1 Saddleback Gauchos under Ken Swearingen. The Mission Conference champs have changed a little bit in their offensive scheme this year, Jeff.
Well, they're going back to a lot of what Coach Swearingen did when he was at El Camino before he came to Saddleback, and they're throwing the ball more. So instead of the balanced attack they've been known in the past, they have a one-dimensional one more toward the passing game.
And the Fullerton College Hornets 9-1 on the season, co-champs of the Super Conference. They're calling it the Pac-9, and they come in here with a good balance on offense and a good defensive structure.
Really tough to defend because they run the ball so well. They've got two rushers in Chuck Ray and Damon Swayze over 1,400 yards, and Rocky Mouse throwing the ball real well, so they're really tough to stop.
Well, let's take a look at some numbers, and the offensive comparisons between these two teams may give us some indication of what we might expect today. And what do you see out of that, Jeff?
Well, I think the main thing to look at is one-dimensional. We were talking about in the passing. For Saddleback, they have 191, but only 118 yards on the ground, and that's been a big difference for them. One-dimensional teams normally don't do as well, but I think it's really interesting to see the points. 35 points a game for the Hornets and 24 points for the Gauchos. That is a big difference. That's 10 points a game, and you always want to be 10 points ahead when the game ends up, don't you?
It always makes it better for you. And we'll take a look at defensive comparisons. Two fine defensive teams. And again this year doing a great job against the rush.
Both teams, as you said, are excellent against the rush. They're very good defenses, very strong. Gauchos like to move some of their players around a little bit differently, try to give different looks, as do the Hornets. I think when you look at the points per game, they're pretty even, although Saddleback has given up less, 10 points, but they give up a lot of yards. They have a rubber band defense that just doesn't seem to break because they get down in that goal line, and the Gauchos have one of the best goal line defenses around.
So they give you some yardage in the middle, but not too much at the end. And another stat that quite often is interesting, margin of victory. The Hornets 19 plus over their opponents, and Saddleback College 13 plus, so about a touchdown difference there.
Well, as we talked before about giving up points and being able to get them, that's a big difference. Fullerton really has a powerful offense. We saw the turnover ratio on there, too, and saw that Fullerton was so much more ahead there. That really is going to be interesting to see because their defense gets turnovers, gets off the field, and that gives them rest. The Gauchos can't afford to have their defense on the field very long today.
And turnovers often find yourself in a good field position, too, because unfortunately for the offensive team, when they turn the ball over, about half the time it's in their own end of the field. That gives the other team great field position, and neither team can afford to do that today.
That's really true, and the Gauchos are a very opportunistic team. They will score when their defense gives them the ball, especially when it's in good field position, and that's a mark of a good team. So though they don't get a lot of turnovers, they do cash them in.
All right, let's see if we can pick up the coin flip down here on the field. Referee Lee Phelps.
Make sure we communicate.
Have a little electronic problem down there. Hope we can get the coin flip in there.
That's the center. That's the center. Tail. Who's coming?
Well, Lee Phelps down there with the other officials for today's game, having a little trouble down there with the coin flip underway. The Gauchos and balloons flying here at Labard Stadium. And the results of the coin flip still not announced. I believe the Saddleback will defend to the right side. Hornets will be on your left. Fullerton College will receive to your left. Saddleback on the right-hand side. They're in their gold and kind of a crimson color. Great uniforms for both. The Hornets, the visiting team today. The Gauchos, the home team. And again, it's a matchup. This Saddleback Gaucho team, loser of the last 2 Pony Bowls, Jeff Barton. They've got a lot to prove today here in 1984.
They come into the game with everything to win and nothing to lose. They lost in '82 against the Hornets in the first ever meeting between the two, and there had been a lot of friction between the two clubs, a lot of talking back and forth. And then last year, of course, they got beat by Cerritos too, which was a runner-up to Fullerton. So they come in wanting to really get the bragging rights back in Orange County to prove that they are the quality football team that their records have shown, regardless of what the conference says.
And folks have been saying the mission not quite as tough as a Pac-9, so a victory today would, well, put a little bit of end to all of that. So that would be a lot of things going on, players who played together in high school too. So there's a lot of things happening down on the field. Sit back, relax, hope we bring it to you, and enjoy junior college football at its best. As we said, 2 of the finer football teams in the nation, and 2, Hal Scherbeck being the #1 active JC football coach in the nation and winning. Ken Schweringer, #3, so we got the right people at the helm too. Number 73, Tracy Rutkowski, kicking off for the Gauchos. To your right for the Hornets, John Green. Damon Swayze back at the goal line, just about underway. The 1984 Pony Bowl. And Damon Swayze from the 7. Knocked out of bounds, good defensive play. The Hornets will start their first offensive possession from about the 22-yard line.
Here we get a chance to see the Hornets as they stack up offensively. Rocky Mao, a quarterback, Swayze and Prisborowski, of course, are the running backs. Nash and Pernell Sullivan are wide receivers, although Pernell Sullivan does have a little bruised shoulder. We're not sure how long he's going to be able to stay in there.
Offensive line for the Hornets, and it's a good one. Knuchin, Shermer, Katnick, Wade, and Scher with tight end Ray Skinner. See a lot of Bob Garcia. First play from the 22-yard line. Mao at the helm. Nash to the top of your screen. Aaron Grimm to the bottom. Sullivan with a little bit of an injury problem. Jeff will tell you about that. Mao back to throw on the first possession. And to Kenny Nash, 12 yards, a first down, up to the 34-yard line. So a nice little out pattern for the Hornets on first down. Defensively for the Gauchos, and they have a good one, Wilkerson, Peel, Castle, Mission Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Van Skyke, and Lehman. That's the up front. The guys in the back worrying about Rocky Mao. Pa'u'u, Hess, Williams, Roman, Roberts, and Lamode. They'll have their hands full with record-setting performer Rocky Mao, 1,974 yards on the year. The Hornets switching now. Swayze in the eye. First and 10. Swayze up the middle. Good blocking. Nice gain of about 5 yards.
So far, the Gauchos have not come out with the nickel defense that the Hornets staff is expecting them to see. Their run defense has been pretty strong. The Hornets felt, though, that they could come in and run right at the Gaucho defense, that was a way to be able to attack it as far as just play power football. This is a classic day and some classic football we're going to get to see then.
See the referees, Encinas, Nix, and Lee Phelps there. A little bit of trouble with audio. Sorry, Lee. There's your debut, Castillo and Oscar Bean. Good officials for this 1984 Pony Bowl. Second down for the Hornets. Swayze off the left side. No room there. Back maybe a gain of a yard. That's just about all. Saddleback brings up the first third down conversion. Yepi Pa'u'u from the linebacker position firing in there to help, along with Conference Player of the Year in the Mission Conference, Eric Van Skyke.
Yepi Pa'u'u is considered by the Saddleback coaches to really be their most versatile player. We'll see him line up at either strong side outside linebacker or weak side. He'll be all over the field for him.
3 out of that front 7 are freshmen, so they're in the thick of it today. Third down, about 3. Now under pressure, ball loose. Saddleback has it. First turnover of the game, and it's a big one. Hornet territory. The Gauchos will start off in great shape at about the 34-yard line, Jeff.
Well, you get a chance to see the replay. Rocky couldn't find his first receiver, tried to step up, and he just got hit, and the ball gets knocked loose. Big break for the Gauchos to start the game off early. They've got great field position.
That'll bring that Gaucho offense on the field, and they have a record-setting performer of their own at quarterback. Mike Douglas, Salinas, and Brown should start in the backfield, 32 and 44, but expect to see a lot of different sets. 1st and 10 from the 35 into Hornet territory. Schmidt in motion. He goes over here on a running back screen. Good yardage on 1st down. Good play. Jason Schmidt out of the backfield. You'll see a lot of that today. A gain of 12 yards. 1st down, about the 23-yard line. Nice call on 1st down.
It was a very good call. Fullerton has a tendency to be able to blitz, and you'll see the blitz come here with Fullerton. They bring him outside, and the outside, there's no one there. The linebacker's responsible for him, and he's blitzing. And they have that tendency. They picked it up very well.
Tackle made by Robbie Van Vliet, but not before the Gauchos open up with a 1st down. 23-yard line, just underway, 1st quarter of play. No score. Schmidt in motion. You'll see a lot of that today to the right side. Marshall back to throw, under pressure, has a man open and complete at the 10-yard line. The Gauchos on the move. Wide receiver, number 23, Jack Sussenyar, did a nice job to get it open, and Douglas had a lot of time.
Well, when you see that little semi-roll, that's out of respect to the Fullerton defense because they do blitz a lot. We'll see him move out. He moves to his right there. He can't find his first receiver because he is covered, and he waited long enough for the receiver on the outside to come back in and open up.
The Gauchos decided underdogs in this game. Would love to get the first 7 points here off the turnover from Rocky Mount. Douglas has Cage in motion. Back to throw again, has a man open towards the corner, but can't quite pick it up. Going over there for the tight end on that side, number 82, Tony Palomera, a man who's caught quite a few balls from a tight end position, 16 for the year, and pretty good coverage, but open just for a second.
It would have taken a great catch. We're going to see Todd Harrington for the Hornets, number 45, beyond him, and Todd has his back to the ball. It takes a great pass there, and it just didn't quite work out for him.
Right at the corner, so that'll bring up a 2nd down. I believe the 1st down is right before the goal line at the 1-yard line. Gauchos now in a shotgun. Marshall back to throw. He's got a man open, number 32, John Salinas. Touchdown, Saddleback.
That again was a really good call, an example of what we expect to see today from the Gauchos is sending their backs out of the backfield. Fullerton's going to have to make sure that their linebackers are picking up those backs as they go out. On that play, of course, he was wide open. There was nobody within 15 yards of him. He could have taken a wheelchair into the end zone that time.
John Lemaire, number 75, in for the point after attempt. So here at the 12-minute mark of the 1st period of play, that turnover cashed into 6 points. Lamar trying to make it 7. Kick away and is good. 12 of 12 for Lamar on the season. Welcome to the 1984 Pony Bowl. 7-0 Saddleback, and that's what they needed to do, Jeff. Coming in as decided underdogs. Here's the replay.
Well, we get a chance to see it here. Of course, when you've got the backs in your backfield and they come back outside, it's really tough to follow them. And in this case, Salinas was wide open. There you see him. No one was near him. Got a nice block from his wide receiver on the outside.
Fullerton defense appeared to be a little bit confused in a couple of those plays, Jeff. A little bit early. Saddleback may have come out with a couple sets they had not seen earlier in the season.
Well, actually, the sets are the same. I haven't seen the scouting report with Fullerton. The sets are not different, but they are throwing to their backs more, and that's just a good adjustment by the Gauchos staff to realize that that's where you have to beat them. To stop that blitz from coming in, then you send receivers out who are supposed to be covered by those blitzing linebackers.
Well, we're right back to where we were before, except the Gauchos now leading just a couple minutes, and they're up 7-0. Again, Rutkowski to John Green at the 3. He drops it, picks it up. Green fights his way up to the 14, a Gaucho team that appears to be fired up for this game.
Well, you hear a lot on broadcasts about momentum, and it really is important, especially in a football situation. And in this case, the Gauchos came in with probably more momentum than the Hornets did, and this to get a quick score off a turnover and then to get a kickoff that's only come back to the 13 or 14, Fullerton's going to have to put a sustained drive here to be able to quiet this crowd down.
Well, a little bit early to panic here for the Hornets, of course, but it's great for the Gauchos. They needed to show they could do something, and already on that first drive, they came up with the necessary points. Now, 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Swayze in motion, Pitch to Swayze off the left side. He's hit initially, fights back to the line of scrimmage, but maybe a gain of 1, perhaps nothing at all. Number 67, James Castle. Number 57, Jay Wilkerson in there early.
We're seeing an example of why the Gaucho defense gave up even less yards on the ground than the Hornet defense did, which is a feat in itself, seeing as how the Hornets were #1 in the Pac-9 against the rush. But they do a good job of pursuing, and they do a very good job of penetration. We saw that on that play.
Second down. Let's make it 10 yards. Mao with Swayze in the eye. Nash and Sullivan looks like is in there now. No, it isn't Sullivan. Swayze knocked down. Swayze for about a loss of 3. The Gauchos are coming off the ball in a big hurry.
Well, we saw Pau come in through there again. He blitzed up through the middle. They are doing a lot more stunning than they have before. We're going to get a chance to see it. As the ball goes back here to Damon, Pau slips right through there off the guard center gap, which we call the 1 gap, and really did a nice job of stunning.
Swayze comes into the game today as the #1 Hornet rusher. 4.8 yards per gain. Third down right now, and about 13 to go for Rocky Mel. Hornets play it safe and go outside to Swayze, but he has a hole. He pops to the outside. First down, 31-yard line. Nice blocking on that side. Good choice by Damon Swayze. He popped to the outside and picked up the necessary yardage.
Well, you see that on the 3rd down and long, the Gauchos came in with their nickel defense, which is a 5 defensive backs. They take out a linebacker, and then they put in another defensive back. So against that, the run is open, and it's a nice one. We see Damon make a nice break right here out to the outside. Picks up a couple blocks. Great run, and they got a new set of downs.
They pulled the guard David Wade that time, and he made the important block on the defensive end over there. Open that hole up for Damon Swayze. First down and 10 for the Hornets. 31-yard line, their own territory. 10 minutes and 39 seconds to go here. First period of play. Mao, plenty of time. Over the middle, that'll be intercepted. Into Hornet territory at the 40. Second turnover for the Hornets. Mark Roberts with the interception, his 4th interception of the year. Right back into Hornet territory one more time.
On that type of play, they didn't have 5 defensive backs in, but Roberts is playing the free safety. He's playing the center field position, and he's just out there waiting. And Rocky waited a little bit too long to throw that ball. I don't think he saw the defensive back there. I don't think he saw the safety. He wouldn't have thrown it. You see, he has a lot of time. He moves out a little bit, throws across. Roberts steps right in front.
Mike Douglas and his troops back at it with Salinas and Brown in the backfield. Switching now into an eye. Back to throw. Douglas on a quick hitter looking for Sussenjar, but can't quite come up with the ball. That'll bring up a second down and 10. Inside the 40, actually closer to the 39-yard line. And field position is so important, and great field position on 2 successive possessions for the Gauchos. There's the Gaucho receivers, Douglas, Salinas, Brown, Sussenjar, and Cage. That's the guys that'll get the ball and throw it around, but the guys who are providing the wall of offense will get that offensive line as soon as we can. There it is. Palomera, Eachus, Candy, Leota, Frederick, and Duran. Second down and 10. The Gauchos, they want to throw back in a shotgun. High snap, but ball loose to looking for Schmid. The ball popped up. Hornets couldn't quite come up with it. That'll bring up a 3rd down. That's a dangerous kind of play. If the Hornets pick it up, nothing but some green and brown turf in front of them.
Well, they're planning on that right there as we get a chance again to look at the, looks like defensive line. They leave the defensive end for the Hornets free to come, and they're planning on the fact they're going to throw right over the top of him. In that case, it didn't work out the way they wanted to because he had to throw it so much higher, even their own receiver couldn't get up and get it. But the Hornets were still there.
There's that Hornet defensive line, Jeff, Mazursky, Rogers, Carr, Lowitz, and Harrington. Get the backfield for you in a minute. They're under pressure here in the first period of play. Saddleback and Douglas back, setting up a screen to Salinas on the other side. Flag down at the 35-yard line. 30, looks like he has a first down, but it could be a motion penalty against the Gauchos.
I think it's something right on the line. It's either a motion penalty or there may have been an illegal receiver downfield.
Instead, they're going to call offside Hornets. That'll be declined, should be first down. So a big 3rd down conversion for the Gauchos. And again, they set up that running back screen. We've seen it to the left to Schmid. We've seen it to the right to number 32, John Salinas, and it's worked effectively both ways.
It was an excellent call. Coach Swearingen really does a nice job of mixing up his plays. We get a chance to look at the defensive backs defensive backs are responsible for trying to stop those passing attacks.
It's a good group. They will have their hands filled today. Cage to the bottom of your screen along with number 11, Jason Schmid. To the top, number 10, Kurt Woods. from first down, they're going to have a shotgun formation, so you know they want to throw today. Douglas back, throws it a little bit low under pressure from the Hornets. He had to release it rather quickly.
Tom Houts came right up the middle and it was untouched getting down there, and that's a short tie pass. You know, we saw in the first game of the season with the Hornets, we saw Santa Ana come out with 3 steps and throw, and now what the Gauchos are doing is in essence the same thing, only instead of having the quarterback underneath the center, they have him back on the long snap from the shotgun. He still wants to get rid of the ball in a hurry, and for Houts to come through that untouched, somebody missed an assignment.
2nd down and 10, and Douglas may have mentioned that in the huddle that time too. 2nd and 10 for Douglas. Back up this time again. Schmidt in motion, flag flying. Maybe a delay of game, too much time talking about that one. That should cost them 5 yards.
It may be illegal motion.
The procedure call against the Gauchos.
One of the interior linemen happened to move a little bit. The Hornets started pointing right away.
Jeff, are you surprised that they've come out, and we know they were going to throw quite a bit.
Procedure, right guard.
There it is, right guard called. Mark Candy, number 66. Well, you made it on television, Mark. Are you surprised that the Gauchos throwing as much as they are? Of course, with this great field position, it tends to make you want to put the ball up, perhaps.
They know they have to throw the ball to win today, and it'll be in the air a lot. They expect them to throw 50 times today.
I'll bring up a 2nd down and about 15 yards to go. Again, Schmidt in motion. They want to pass off of this formation. A ball tipped up by Todd Harrington. He made great penetration on the right side. The play was open on that side. The Hornets looked like they had it covered a little bit better, trying to go to number 11, Jason Schmidt.
We're going to get a chance to see this. Todd comes up, and John Salinas for the Saddleback, number 32, is trying to make the block for him. You see Todd right here at the bottom of your screen, and he jumps up in the air and gets cut underneath his legs at the same time. Great individual effort.
And he's a good one, Todd Harrington, one of those defensive ends, doing a great job this year. On the other side, Mazursky and Steve Summers will come in there and give him a lot of action. 3rd and 15. Big 3rd down for the Hornet defense. The Gauchos with this field position, and a little confusion as Mike Douglas, number 12, wants to call a timeout. Looks like number 11, Jason Schmidt, a little bit confused about where he should be. 4 minutes, 14 seconds to go here, first period of play. The Gauchos up 7-0. The 1984 Pony Bowl is a little bit of a rocky start for the Hornets, the kind of start Ken Swearingen would have wanted for his Gauchos. Let's go down field level to Ken Macko.
Couple of injury updates right now. Pernell Sullivan, part of the offensive attack for the Hornets, will not be playing today. He has a bruised knee, got hurt Thursday afternoon. He won't see any action. Brian Mazursky's out there. He's got a bruised shoulder, but they need him on defense, so he will be in there today. Back upstairs to Lon and Jeff.
Down in the bright sunlight there at LaBarge Stadium, and you can see as the shadows on the field that Mike Douglas, quarterback for the Gauchos, looking into his son that's approaching, going towards the horizon here, and may be a factor before this afternoon is over.
Well, right now they've got the better situation, because you'd rather have the quarterback look in the sun than the receivers, because he doesn't have to look up in the air. He just finds his receivers. The receivers for the Hornets right now have to look back and up into that sun. That's when it gets difficult.
Big 3rd down play, 15 yards to go. Ball at the 34-yard line. Mike Douglas again in the shotgun. Pressure on. It's going to be a screen over here to Schmidt. He's knocked down, though. Good defensive play coming up for the Hornets. Number 20 from the secondary, Sean Robinson. So they had that one smelled early.
That's a good job for them. They come in with some extra defensive backs. They win a nickel defense for the Hornets, which is unusual. You don't get to see it very often. Goes from the shotgun, lots of pressure. They're going to let him go because they worked out like a screen, but Sean came up barreling up real hard. He is really a good hitter. They like him. He likes to bang.
Well, you can only go to the well so often. That'll bring up a 4th down and 15, but with the ball being at the 35-yard line, they may go ahead and go for it. Let's see what they elect to do. Douglas is still in there, along with running back number 36, Jerry Eldridge. They're going to slot him now. Flags flying, may be a delay of game. Let's see what they call it. It is a delay of game. So that's going to cost them another 5. That'll bring up a 4th down and 20, and to see if that changes their thinking. Yes, it does. Ken Swearingen's going to put the ball away now.
Delay of game.
The delay of game against the Gauchos, so a penalty changes their minds, brings up a little bit different field position. That'll bring in their punter, number 95, Andrew Keiss. Keiss, a transfer from San Diego State for the Hornets, back at about the 10-yard line. Damon Swayze and John Green. Ball off to the right a little bit. Keiss gets it, a low line drive job. Green lets it bounce, hitting around the 13-yard line, will settle down somewhere near the 11. So the Hornets have not had what you would call great field position last two possessions, on the 14 and now on the 11.
They've had horrible field position. They would love to get it back up around the 30, 35-yard line and go from there. But Fullerton, again, is going against a defense that has given up a lot of passing yardage and has shown that they will give up a lot of yards from the 20 to 20. And we saw in the last series with Fullerton, they started throwing a little bit more. We'll probably see some more of that, too.
Fullerton having their work cut out. The Gaucho team has come up very fired up for this game. They want to make amends for the 1982 Pony Bowl. Pitch to Swayze, good block off the left side, but knocked down, gain of about 3. Great play that time by Jay Wilkerson coming from the defensive end position to knock him down.
Good pursuit, good job, good block by Kevin Prisborowski, number 44 for the Hornets. But that's where he makes a good block, and he does it a little bit too early because the defenseman did a great job of getting off the ground and back up to help on the tackle.
That'll bring up a second down and about 6 yards for the Hornets from the 14-yard line. Nash now, for the first time we saw him lining up in the eye, now out to the bottom of your screen. Give to Swayze, trying to pop to the outside, can't do it. Tackle made there by Mike Peel from the defensive tackle position, and the Gauchos look like they're ready to play a football game today, coming off the ball very well.
They're really fired up, and we're seeing their run defense again, good penetration. You know, when the Hornets get backed up like they are to inside their own 15-yard line, it's tougher for them to throw because that's a dangerous area. You get a sack, it could be a safety, it's really a fumble, could take it right into the end zone. So they are running a little bit more when they're in that area. They can open it up when they get through. We see Damon here get tackled for a loss. Great pursuit, good solid tackling.
Well, Peel came in there, 6'5", 230. The big guy, a sophomore out of Del Toro, did the job. Third down and about 7. Mal pumps once, looks like he's trying to set up a screen. Now he's back in his end zone, just throws it away into the Hornet bench on the other side. Somebody got knocked off the screen. I believe they were trying to go to number 25, Charles Ray, but nothing happening.
Well, that was the first time that I can remember that Fullerton had both Chuck Ray and Damon Swayze in the backfield at the same time. Damon came across the middle and was open across the middle on what they call a circle pattern, and they were trying to set up a screen over to Chuck, but something just didn't seem to gel there. They're a little bit rocky on offense, but they've always shown they can come back for it.
Salinas and Ostrander back as Rick Frank in his own end zone, punting with a 41.4 average. Gets away a short kick, fair catch called at the 48-yard line by Craig Ostrander, so another great field position for the Gauchos, their third of the game. They're up 7-0.
We saw the last series that the Hornet defense seemed to have made the right adjustments. They caused a long third down, a long fourth down. They've done a better job. That seems to be the tendency with Hornet defenses, that they may give up a little bit on one series, but they always have that ability to come back and settle down and stop teams. If they can keep the Gauchos from getting a first down here, they'll finally maybe get some field position for their offense.
The Gauchos, on the other hand, would like to see all of that end. Going to the right side, this time is Schmidt. He tries to get to the outside, gets by one man, but not by the rest of the Hornets. He got by Tommy Haltz, but the rest of the Hornet crew came over there, particularly number 77, the big guy, Pete Poching, from the nose tackle position. And they're going to go without a huddle. Second down and 10, trying to catch the Hornets and switching any defenses. Back to the other side with Schmidt. Didn't work on that side. Let's switch it. This time he fights over to the left side for a gain of about 3. Liddell Glenn came up to help out along with Todd Harrington. And they're going to go again without a huddle. Third down and about 7. We're going to have a timeout called, I believe, with the Hornets.
This is exactly what happened in the 1982 Pony Bowl. And in that case, they came out and they just went with no huddle or a quick huddle, got up to the line with a lot of trips, we call, which is 3 receivers to one side, which are unusual formations, and they try to get the play off before the defense can adjust and get their calls out. The Hornet defense makes an awful lot of adjustments at the line of scrimmage. They'll call one play in the huddle, and they could change it completely around because they know the tendencies of the formations. And what the Gauchos try to do here is to stop them from doing that. And in that place, they call 3 plays in the huddle. Now, they were exactly the same play, the first 2, and I'd be curious to know whether or not they just called 3 plays in a row. We're going to go run the same play. We'll go to the right, we'll go to the left, we'll go to the right. You don't know. It's really tough to try and call 3 complicated plays in the huddle at one time.
Sometimes you give up your power on offense trying to beat the defensive scheme on the other side. That time, 2 plays, a net of 4 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 6 inside the Hornet 50-yard line, about the 47-yard line. You see the time left, can barely see it there. 5 minutes, 59 seconds to go. Gauchos up 7-0 here, first period of play. Sun shining brightly on that LaBarge Stadium scoreboard over there. Maybe a pair of sunglasses for the clock over there would help. 3rd down, 7 yards to go from the 47-yard line. Schmidt in motion to the bottom, gives it to the Salinas over the right side. He'll be short of the 1st down. The Hornets in there with Pete Carter, number 41, Brian Mazurski, number 57, and Tommy House, 48 for the tackle. That'll bring in Rutkowski. Punting away again, 4th down and about 4. Green and Swayze back for the Hornets, as you said, needed to hold the Gauchos without a 1st down that time. The Hornet defense did it, Jeff.
They did a really nice job. The Gauchos tried to hit that quick trap up the middle there because they expected a pass rush and it didn't quite work for them.
Excuse me, that's Andrew Keiss, a punter for the Gauchos. Snap a little low, picks it up, drives one. Green calls a fair catch, may let it go, hoping it goes into the end zone, but it will not. At about the 4-yard line, down right there by the Gauchos, number 57, making a great play. Jay Wilkerson, linebacker, 6'2", 198, out of Mater Dei, and he came up with a play that will again push the Hornets in very poor field position.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see the punt. You see that he wants to fair catch it. Now, what he just did there, they should have thrown a flag. You cannot fair catch the ball, signal, and then block the man coming down. But it ended up for the Gauchos. They got the ball stopped down there on the 4-yard line. Again, excellent field position for the Gauchos. The Hornets have really been back in a hole. They need to get some room here to work with. They get a 1 or 2 first downs, they can maybe start into their normal offense.
Well, you have to be patient here when you're having this kind of a start at a game. Back 7-0. Split backs now. Flag down, maybe too much time. Let's see what they decide to do. It is a legal procedure against the Hornets. Second time we've seen that called, once against each team. So a shaky start for the Hornets at best.
Fortunately, it doesn't hurt them that much. It's only half the distance to the goal, so they've only lost a couple yards out of it. The offense needs to settle down and get something going here, and it's just tough to do when you've backed yourself all the way back to your own goal line.
And down here, of course, turnovers are extremely hazardous for the offensive team. Prisborowski and Swayze. Swayze over the middle, ball loose. Let's see who has it. Saddleback players saying they have it. We'll wait for the officials to unpile. Talking about turnovers, we may have jinxed the Hornet offense. Let's see. The officials still have not called it. Still Hornet ball. Could have been the 3rd turnover of the day. That one is a big play.
It was interesting that down there on their own goal line, or on the opponent's goal line, the Gauchos went into their goal line defense, which is normally they're trying to prevent you from going into their own goal line. But here they know that with the Hornets with their back like that, they're not going to necessarily throw the ball right away. They're going to try and run it, especially on 1st down. So they put in their toughest run defense. It's an 8-man front, and they want to cause something to happen, and they got the fumble.
Good defensive call by the Gaucho defensive coaches up here. Now they've switched around a little bit. Mal with Chuck Ray in the eye. Back to throw. Mal in his own end zone, going long, looking for Aaron Grimm. It's intercepted. Back to the 45, 40. Tackle made by Grimm, but not before the cornerback, Alan Roman, brings it again. The 3rd turnover for the Hornets. Great field position, 33-yard line. The Gauchos are under fire here.
Well, I tell you, that was an excellent interception. The ball was right on the money. We're going to get a chance to see this. The ball was thrown right on the money. It would have been a beautiful pass right in the numbers of the Hornet receiver, and Roman did a nice job of just reaching out right on his fingertips, took it right away. Excellent individual effort.
Only his 2nd interception of the year. That's a great time to have it, and again, great field position for the Gauchos. From the 34-yard line, leading 7-0. 4 minutes, 21 seconds to go. Douglas back to throw, under pressure. He'll go down. Number 45, Todd Harrington finally there. Pete Poching with the first hit. A loss of about 7. 2nd down and 17.
Well, the Hornet defense so far is really keeping the Hornets in the game. They're doing a good job of against a tough situation. You don't like to have your back into your own goal line. You don't like to have them across the midfield stripe. Here we're going to get a chance to see what the Hornet defense is famous for, and that's pressuring the quarterback. First on one side, then another. Two guys are on the tackle. That's just great penetration.
The interior of that Gaucho line, Frederick, Leota, and Candy, all freshmen. We thought perhaps they might have trouble against this Hornet defense, but they've done a nice job so far. 2nd and 17. Douglas back to throw, looking long for Schmid. Jimmy Chambers with an interception. A great job at the 2-yard line. Jimmy Chambers.
Great interception. Golly, we get to see one from the Saddleback side. He makes a nice interception, and then we see Jimmy Chambers, who was leading the Pac-9 conference at the end of the season. He had 7 interceptions in the year. He makes a diving catch. Douglas puts the ball up. He purposely outthrows his man, and Chambers dives and makes the catch. That's the good part. Now, the bad part, or the negative part of it, I guess, is that the Hornets are starting inside their 5-yard line again.
Well, they're back to the 2 where they were before the interception occurred. So on that exchange of possessions, the Hornets come up with nothing. Back deep in their own territory. Split backs now. Swayze, Prisborowski. Mao back to throw in his own end zone. A short pass. This one goes to the left side. A nice gain up near first down territory. Aaron Grimm, number 88, the freshman from California High School. He'll see a lot of action with an injury to Pernell Sullivan today.
He sure will, and he's had a lot of action during the year anyway because they rotate their receivers an awful lot, bringing in plays. That is a great call. That's a tight pass that'll really loosen up the passing game for the Hornets. They've got to bring those corners up. The corners are really respecting the speed of the Hornet receivers, and they're giving them a lot of room to work underneath.
Hornet offensive line, Knuchin, Shermer, Katnick, Wade, and Scherer. One remaining back in Swayze. First down, back inside, a nice cut by Swayze. He's free, up inside the 25-yard line, make it to 27. First down for the Hornets. This is what they needed to do, put together a couple first downs, and, well, you could say improved field position, and anything would be an improvement in what they've had so far here in the first quarter.
Well, they really have. They've done a nice job. They saw, here's Damon running on that play, breaks back very nicely. The reason he can get into the backfield so fast on that is that the Gauchos were going with a nickel defense. And it's so far, both times that the Gauchos have come with the nickel defense, the Hornets have run the ball and run it successfully, both times with Damon running on that play.
So I'll bring up another first down for the Hornets, 37-yard line. 3 turnovers for the Hornet offense already on the afternoon. Swayze over the right side, short yardage, about 3 yards. Kevin Prisborowski leading the blocking there. Good defensive play that time coming up from the secondary. Number 21 for the Gauchos, Steve Lamoth. So the safety up quickly on that run play.
It'll be interesting to see what the second down call is. Coach Sampson normally on second down likes to run the ball because he feels confident in his running game. And then he's got third down and short. He can do either one. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him put it up the way they've been playing against the run defense now.
Mao with a second down, 7 yards to go. Back to throw, moving the pocket. He's got a man open here, misses him. Interception by the Gauchos. Rocky trying to make the tackle, the 4th turnover. Number 15, Robbie Williams from the corner, his 7th interception of the year. 4th turnover for the Hornets. Mao had a man open, simply missed him. Flag back in the secondary. We're going to have a clip against the Gauchos. That'll cost them a little yardage, but again, possession, and that's the name of the game.
That ball just sailed away from Rocky. This is called a waggle play. They fake the run. He rolls back over the other side. The tight end comes across the middle. He was wide open, and the ball just got away from Rocky when he let it go. Sometimes the ball will sail like that, and when you're not having, if you don't have a lot of confidence in what you're doing right now, you don't tend to zip the ball like you'd want to, and that's when it starts to sail.
It's been a long time since you've probably heard or seen of a Hornet team with 4 turnovers in the first quarter of play. A worried Hal Scherbeck and coaching staff along with the Hornets on the far side. That clipping penalty will bring it back into Gaucho territory at the 38-yard line. They run trips, 3 wide receivers to the right side. A lone running back is Salinas. They give it to Salinas. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain. The Hornets not fooled by that play. 67 Rogers in there along with the linebackers, Carter and Pete Carter and Tommy Haltz in there also.
A lot of times when the Gauchos come out with those 3 receivers over there, one of the receivers, of course, is a running back, and he'll just step back and they'll throw a quick hitch pass out to him. He's got 2 blockers in front. The Hornets feel right now that Douglas does not have good mobility, and that if they can put pressure on him, they'll keep him from completing the passes, and of course that pressure works good against the run too.
They'd like to flush him if they could. Again, a lone running back, John Salinas, Schmid, Levin in motion to the top. Under pressure, Douglas. Rogers is after him, can't come up with it. Throws it away and almost intercepted, but completed to Schmid. First down, right at midfield, 50-yard line. Almost an interception, but a good play by Schmid and Mike Douglas.
The cornerback for the Hornets that time, I didn't get a chance to see who that was, but he went for the interception. You're going to see that Douglas gets back and he gets pressure right up front. The end got cut. There's more pressure and just missed the tackle. Good job of releasing the ball. The defensive back, I'm not sure who that was.
Jimmy Chambers on that side going for the interception and a lot of territory in front of him. But that didn't work out, and a good play for the Gauchos. First down for them, right at midfield, just into Hornet territory. Call it the 49-yard line. Over the middle, short yardage. Gain of about 2 yards. Well, the Gauchos trying to grind it out a little bit. And as we talked about earlier, Jeff, they pass a lot, but it's kind of a possession kind of passing, ball control.
Well, when you look at the statistics, Douglas has thrown for less yards than Rocky has, although he's completed 20 more passes. His yards per catch is a lot lower because they do throw that possession-type ball. They like to throw the 5-yard outs, the quick slants, the stops, the curls, and we're going to see a lot more of that today.
Eldridge slotted out to the right, 2nd down and 7 for Douglas. Gives it to the first back through, and he fights over the left side again, gain of about 3 yards. And that is the end of the first period of play for the Gauchos. It's been a good one, 4 turnovers, but you take a look at that side of the ledger and you say with 4 turnovers, they only cashed in for 7 points.
Well, we said they are an opportunistic team, and they showed that right away with the first turnover on the fumble, and then they brought it right in for a touchdown.
Let's go down and take a listen to Kenny Macko down at field level.
The Hornets have been involved in a lot of postseason play. This is the 10th bowl game that the Hornets have been in. The first one being in 1961. That was the Orange Show Bowl. They lost that to Sac. And the list goes on and on. They played last year, of course, in the Potato Bowl, won that. They beat Taft 28-7. And this marking their 10th bowl game, they're going to try to win their 7th game. Back upstairs to Lon and Jeff.
Kenny, and yes, they will be trying to win this one, but they trail 7-0. Beginning of the second period of play. The Gauchos underway here with a 3rd down and 5 at the inside the 45-yard line of the Hornets.
Gauchos have only been able to convert on 1 of 3 3rd downs so far. This will be interesting to see. They've got a long ways to go.
Schmid in motion, 3 wide receivers to the top. They go to Schmid, but he drops it, and it is a pass. It's a forward pass and not a fumble, so that will bring up a 4th down. And that'll bring in punter Andrew Keiss one more time. So 3rd down conversions have not been a strong point, as you said, for Saddleback. That play looked like something may have developed. The pass a little low. Schmid probably should have come up with it, though.
The reason that pass did not come through was because of Pete Carter, number 41 for the Hornets. He did a great job of recognizing the pass, got out there in a hurry, and I'm sure that's what the receiver was looking at, was Carter coming right at him.
Carter will make you look twice. Keiss to punt it away from his own 40-yard line. Green and Swayze back for the Hornets inside the 10. Either way, it should field position may be a problem. Looking into the sun, John Green receives it at the 5-yard line, falls forward, tripped up at about the 14. So 14 is one of the better field positions for the Hornets in the last 5 or 6 minutes, Jeff.
That says an awful lot about where the Hornets have had to start when you say, "Guy, we're happy we're not inside the 5-yard line." And it has not been the fault of the Hornet defense. The defense has played excellent ball game. They gave up 1 score, but when they've had to be on the field through 3 interceptions and 1 fumble, they're on the field a lot, and they've stopped them very well. It's going to take some time, I think, for the offense to gel for the Hornets. They've shown that they can score. They're an offensive powerhouse at 35 points a game. They are going against a defense they have not seen. They're going against a very good, tough defense, too. So the adjustments will have to come, and that's what the Hornets are going to have to try and do. I'm sure Coach Sampson's upstairs writing down all X's and O's, figuring out what he's going to do with it.
And when we say Coach Sampson, we don't mean Ralph up here. He wouldn't need a press box, a big guy for Houston. Marv Sampson up there, helping with the signals for the Fullerton College Hornets. First down and 10, 13-yard line. Swayze in the eye. Nash to the bottom of your screen. Give the Swayze ball loose, flying around. Maybe Swayze picked it up and got a couple yards out of it to boot. But the Hornets playing foot loose and fancy free with a pigskin down there this afternoon, Jeff.
A fortuitous bounce, that's for sure.
Fortuitous bounce, I like that. Almost the 5th turnover of the game for the Hornets.
Here's the replay, of course. It was a good exchange. At least I thought it looked like good exchange. Nope, Damon didn't have it from the very beginning. So it just seems to be the jinx is on for the Hornet offense right now.
They've come out looking probably as unsettled as we've seen them in several games for the 1984 season. But you have to be patient and let things work your way. Give to Chuck Ray over the right side, and he's got some room. Chuck Ray, great move inside first, then outside to the 36-yard line. And he's a guy that's done it all year, 666 yards, 3 runs this year for touchdowns of 75 yards or over. He likes that kind of 75-yard mark for the 1984. And what a great tandem of Damon Swayze, a great tailback, and then go to Chuck Ray. Here it is.
We're going to see the replay here. The Hornets have been successful running outside on the Gauchos today. They give it to Chuck going out. He's the second man through. Does a very good job of getting outside. That's where his speed really comes into play.
And now you give him a rest and you bring in the man who was over 1,000 yards in the last couple of years, Damon Swayze. He gets the pitch. Wade and Prisborowski out leading the block. Swayze, with a flag flying, gets the midfield, but I believe we're going to have a call against the Hornets. It will be holding. Prisborowski out there with Wade. I'm not sure who got the call, but that's going to negate a fine run by Swayze and move the Hornets back.
Damon did a nice job of using his blockers there. He's dipping in and out, waiting, pausing for him. We're going to get a chance to see it as he comes toward the bottom of the screen here. Wade, number 53, pulls out. So does Prisborowski. Wade was down, and then he ended up reaching out and grabbing somebody. So he made a nice block, made an extra effort, tried to get someone else, and got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
And that's a no-no. Referee Lee Phelps will move it back inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. So the fine run negated, plus the extra yardage tacked on by the offensive penalty. So the Hornets, holding penalty 10 yards. So what you're going to see, what you've seen so far is the Hornets going against about every adversity. They've penalized themselves. Jeff, they've given the ball away 4 times and a chance for 5. Now has Swayze in the eye. Back to throw, moving the pocket, under pressure, gets away from one man, ball loose as he's hit from the backside, incomplete. So that'll bring up a 2nd down, and Rocky Mal took a hit from number 57 for the Gauchos as he came flying from the defensive end position. Jay Wilkerson, the freshman.
Good penetration again by the Gauchos coming up through the middle. We get a chance to see Rocky does a nice job of getting away from the one, but then comes back and gets hit just as he throws the ball. Otherwise, he would have had a completion there.
It may be because of the circumstances that have occurred, but the Hornets appear to be just a little flat so far. They've dropped the ball around, and they don't seem to have that zip of vim and vigor, so to speak, that we've seen in 1984. But it's early here in the 2nd period of play. They trail 7-0. Almost a bad exchange there. Mal can't get it away, and he's knocked down. Tackle made there by number 93 as he came in, Eric Van Skyke, Mission Conference Defensive Player of the Year. And the offensive line having a lot of trouble with that defensive front of the Gauchos.
Well, they're doing a good job, as we said, of getting into the penetration areas, getting into the gaps, and get in front of Rocky when he tries to throw the ball. The thing on this play, what was very good, was the coverage by the Gaucho defense. They were running a good straight across zone where they had 4 or 5 men just on a line, stretched across the field, and Rocky couldn't find anybody open.
And that'll bring up a 3rd down and about 27 yards to go. Not too many plays in the playbook for that kind. Mal back to throw. Plenty of time. This time goes over the middle, finds these men, and Aaron Grimm, he stays on his feet. Outside the 40 to the 43-yard line, but that'll be about 5 yards short of the 1st down. That'll bring in Rick Frank, the putter for the Hornets, and too little, too late.
Well, I think, though, what we saw was a good work on how they work against a nickel defense. When you've got 5 defensive backs in there, you have to try and stretch them out. You try to go in layers. One person about 10 yards deep, another one about 20, and another one really deep on the bomb to stretch them out. In that case, the middleman was open coming across for a good gain.
John Salinas back along with Craig Ostrander. Flag flying as a punt is away. Fair catch called by Ostrander at the 28-yard line. We'll wait and see what the flag is all about. Maybe against the Hornets. If it is, it's a penalty-ridden game for them. It is a motion call against the Hornets. Another penalty, their 4th of the game for 27 yards, but they have been costly ones, Jeff. This one may be declined. The Gauchos will take the ball right there. Pretty good field position at the 28-yard line. Not as good as they've been getting for the rest of the game, but still a good spot to start. The Hornet defense back out on the field one more time.
They have been progressively, the Gauchos that is, getting the ball closer and closer to their end zone. The last time they had it was the first time they'd taken possession in their own territory. And then this time, of course, they're down even farther than 37. So that's a good sign. It's a progressive sign. This is going to be a game of field position. And right now, the Gauchos are winning the game of field position.
And they're winning the game 7-0.
It tends to go hand in hand.
One thing that the Hornets have had going for them all year long is that they're plus 22 on the turnover ratio. And they have been a team where the defense has created possibilities for them, much like the Gaucho team is creating for their offense today with those 4 turnovers. The Hornets defense, they've been coming up with the big turnover, turning the game around really for the 1984 season.
Well, they've got one turnover, of course, today with the interception, which is not bad. If you can get 5 turnovers in a game, defensively, you feel if you can get 5 turnovers, you should win that ball game. Don't let up, the Gauchos have not really gotten that many turnovers during their season, and they have sure shown that they know how to do it because they've come back and already gotten 4 here in the first half.
Well, 4 is a healthy number for the Gauchos, and they've done a great job defensively, and the offense has put up 7 points. First quarter stats there. As you can see, total yards, not too much difference, but the key has been that they didn't need to go too far because the Gauchos I'm speaking of have had great field position.
We saw the example we talked about earlier, the balance of the rushing and passing attack of Fullerton, although it has not been exceptionally effective, and the one-sided on the passing side for the Gauchos.
Douglas with 1 remaining back in Salinas, again passing position. It is Eldridge over the right side, gain of about 5 yards. He's wrestled down by Pete Carter and company, but a nice gain on first down of about 5, bring up a 2nd down and 5.
Anytime you can get 5 yards on first down, you've done a nice job. 2nd down has been a real difficult situation for the Gauchos. They really have not been able to look at many 3rd down and short yardage. They've had 3rd down and 4 or more almost every time.
Now Douglas again, and each time they come out, it's in a passing type of set. He's got Roger Brown back there. He wants to throw short. He has a man open in cage for the first down. Wrestled down there by Robbie Van Vliet. Sean Robertson also in on the tackle, but not before he picks up 7 yards and a first down. And again, indication of that possession kind of passing we talked about earlier.
The Hornets defense that actually very well. Liddell Glenn, number 28, is the cornerback for them out there. As we look at the replay, he slips right there as he's trying to make his drive to go for the ball, and that had a lot to do with the reception being completed.
Schmidt and Cage come out, Sussenjar in now, and also Kurt Woods, number 10, and he's at the top. Eldridge back in at the running back, and he gets the ball over the right side, and a great hit from the Hornet defense. He fights forward for about 4 yards, but a hit came from the the safety position. Number 23, John Collard, came in and just put the helmet on him. He fought off of that and gained of about maybe 3 yards, make it 2nd down and 7.
Safety blitz. I assume it's a safety blitz. If not, he had one of the greatest reads I've ever seen a defensive back. But he came up and really pounded on him. The Hornets are so high on John. They feel he's just one of their best defensive backs and that he has a long career ahead of him, especially if going to a 4-year school the next couple of years.
John Collard has come out of the last 2 games dragging that right hand behind him. He's had a lot of trouble with it. Shoulder area, I believe. 2nd down and 7. Back to throw Douglas. He's got a man open over the middle into Hornet territory. Good play. Good read that time by the offense. Picking up to number 82, Tony Palomero, the tight end. Good first down now for the Saddleback Gauchos. And again, short stuff over the middle, but picking up effective yardage.
Well, they bring the tight end all the way from the left side and drag him clear across the middle, clear across the formation. And on that type of play, he's the only receiver on the left side. So the cornerback, in this case it was Liddell Glenn for the Hornets, has to chase him clear across the field. That's a long way for anybody to have to run with him.
So they keep their drive alive here in the 2nd period of play. The Gauchos up 7-0. 2 backs in the backfield. Ball's loose. Let's see who has it. The Hornets flying around that area. Number 23, John Collard, says that they have it. If so, it'll be the 2nd Gaucho turnover. The exchange just didn't seem to be made. Still unpiling. It will stay Gaucho ball, so that's a big break for them right there. The Hornets down under there. Number 70, Adam Lowitz, at the bottom of the stack. But the Gauchos came up with a big play that time, Jeff.
The front line of Lowitz and Poching and Carr and a couple other people they do bring in there are really going to be a key. They're going against two freshman guards and a freshman center on the Gaucho team, and they've got to exert their experience.
So they'll bring up a second down at about 12 yards, though. Give it to the first back through on the other side. That's Salinas. He fights forward for about 3 yards to the 45-yard line. So another third down situation for the Gauchos, but they're happy right now just to have be hanging on to the ball.
Both teams are having trouble, and I don't think that's because they're so nervous. I think it's because there's a lot of hitting going on out there. We get a chance here to look at the defensive coach for the Hornets, Jeff Jesperson, with the headset on. He's the one who's going to be flashing out the signals, looking like he's breakdancing on the sidelines. They actually do mean something to him, though.
Not to the rest of the world, but to the Hornet defense and Jeff Jesperson. Third down and about 8. Duggan's back to throw. Carter's got him. Sack for the Hornets. Back to the 48-yard line. Big play by the Hornet defense.
That's the backside linebacker for the Hornets coming through. They don't normally, when you only have one back in the backfield, as the Gauchos do, they don't have enough people to block him. And he comes off, and they worked off the center, who we were talking earlier is a freshman. The Mike man, the nose man for the Hornets, goes to the right, and the right side linebacker, which is Houts, comes back across to the left across his face, and nobody's there to block him, and there's no back in there to pick him up.
It was Tommy Houts, number 48, and the Hornets. Good position, perhaps, for them, but anything past the 15 would be good. Keiss back to punt it, gets it away. Green on a good punt at his 5-yard line. Knocked down at the 5. 4-yard line should be the spot right there. Number 31, Gabe Casillas. Well, we talked about field position till we've talked it to death, but it's really the story of this first 2 quarters.
Well, unfortunately, that was a mistake by John in that case. The rule is that you stand on the 10-yard line and you wait for the ball, and if the ball goes over your head, you let it go. And he caught that ball on the 3-yard line. If he lets that go, most likely that ball is going to go in the end zone, and the Hornets at least get to work from the 20.
Their possession, field possession spots for the Hornets back in dangerous territory again one more time. 7 minutes, 31 seconds to go here. Second period of play. Mal back to throw. Short drop, goes to Grimm. Grimm tries to fight away, but will get up to about the 13-yard line. Tackle made there on Grimm by number 21, coming from the safety position, Steve Lamothe. But a good first down pickup of about 8 yards.
Same first down play that they ran when they at the end of the first quarter when they were back down their own end zone. You can see how wide open he was because the corners are backing off. The Hornets need to exploit that a little bit more to open up the passing game.
Second down and 2 for the Hornets, 13-yard line. Mal sends Nash to the right side, top of your screen. Ray as a tailback, and he gets the pitch over the right side. Fighting for yardage, but can't come up with it. Again from the safety position, number 21, Steve Lamothe, as he makes the tackle. And it could be close enough for a first down. Looks like it's close to the 15-yard line. He had to get the nose of the ball at near the 15. Charles Ray, a great compliment at that tailback position. What a tandem of Swayze and Ray, over 1,500 yards this year, and that's great production from the tailback position.
Well, and they're real smart tailbacks, too. In that case was a good example. Ray could have tried to go outside if he wanted to break it for a longer one and maybe try and do that, and that's a tendency to do this. But he knows it's second down and short. He knows the first down is important, and so when he saw a little opening, he just took it up the middle, and he ended up getting the first down. They got a new set.
And they do get the first down out the 15-yard line, let's call it. The Hornets trail 7-0. Gauchos with a great 2 quarters of play here thus far. 4 turnovers for the Hornets, 1 turnover for the Gauchos. Man in motion to the bottom. Under pressure, Rocky Mal. He can't get away from Jay Wilkerson. Number 57 came in virtually untouched, Jeff.
Well, he sure did. There was a mix-up there, I'm sure, in the blocking assignments. 2 of the linemen for the Hornets got tangled up just a little bit. And, you know, that's all it takes is a little thing like that.
And with the score here, 7-0, LaBarge Stadium, the 1984 Pony Bowl. We'll be back right after this. The Hornets with a second down and about 21 yards to go now. Way back at their own 6-yard line as Mal sacked again. Chuck Ray in the eye. The Hornets have found nothing successful so far against this team. Ray over the left side, but maybe 3 yards at the most. The Hornets playing it close to the vest, picking up about 3 yards.
You know, when your defense is playing as well as the Hornet defense is now, and they've really put, I think, put the stop so far on the Gaucho offense, you can afford as an offensive coach to be able to play conservative when you're down here, and you don't have to take chances. You're only down by 1 touchdown, which is really not that much at all. It could happen in 1 second with a long bomb. So they can play conservative. They know they've already had some turnovers. They don't want to give up any more. So I think that's why we're not seeing them open up as much as they'd like to.
Well, if your play is as unsettled as they have in the first 2 periods, if you can go in 7-0, that might not be too bad. Mal shakes away from a safety. He wants to go long, looking for Nash. Nash back there, ball is knocked down, not completed, but the play there made by Rocky Mal. He shook away the defender and kept the Hornets away from the safety.
Well, I'll tell you, that was really scary. Here we are just talking about playing it close to the vest, and Coach Sampson decides to go for all the marbles on there. Good blitzing. The Gauchos anticipated the pass, sent everybody with their sisters on up through the middle of the line, and Rocky did a great job of shaking off that tackler and preventing the safety.
Rocky saved him 2 points. That'll bring in Rick Frank from his own end zone. Frank gets away a high, short one. Salinas, fair catch signal right there at the 43-yard line. And the Gauchos again with great field position, leading 7-0.
Well, now they've broken the trend. The Hornets have been keeping the Gauchos getting their possession back progressively closer to the Gauchos' own goal line, and of course this time they're back across on the 42-yard line. The Gauchos need to get some points on the board here from their standpoint. It's real important to them to move the ball a little bit, get up a couple first downs, at least get a field goal out of it to get the confidence back in their offense.
And that Gaucho defense, you have to credit them. Don Butcher, McCullough, Stutz, the defensive coaches for the Gauchos. They've done a nice job preparing that team. Douglas under pressure. He'll go down. Pete Po-Ching at the top, the big 300-pounder, along with Todd Harrington, number 45. That'll be a loss of about 3 yards, 2nd down and 13.
Good pressure again up the middle. That was a textbook pressure play by the Hornets. You've got, with a half roll, you've got to bring someone up from the outside, which is your defensive end, to stop the quarterback from rolling outside anymore, and then bring the pressure up in the middle to be able to make the sack. And that is exactly what happened there. It was textbook.
2nd down, make it 14 to go. 3 minutes, 39 seconds to go here, 2nd period of play. Gauchos up 7-0, and Mike Douglas doesn't like what he sees, decides to call a timeout, perhaps the wrong personnel for the play call that time by the sideline. Let's go down to Ken Macko.
This is the 4th Pony Bowl. Pony's the sponsor of the bowl game. There was a chance that the game wouldn't be played, but at the last minute they decided they would. This is a nice travel bag we have in front of us. Pony's provided this at a raffle at the end of each quarter. They're giving one of these away. Kind of a nice bag. I hope I get to win one. Back upstairs to Lon and Jeff.
Nice hat, Kenny. We didn't get one up here. 3 minutes, 33 seconds to go here, and it's been all Gaucho so far here in the 1984 Pony Bowl. They've done a good job. They've had, well, you see the first downs. A lot of the stats are pretty close if you take a look at the totals. 7 first downs for both teams. But if you look at the scoreboard, 7-0 is really the big number right there for the Gauchos. 4 turnovers for the Hornets, 1 turnover for the Gauchos. And you take a look at turnovers and field position, that has been the story so far of the 1984 Pony Bowl. Salinas, the lone back. Douglas with a 2nd down and 15. Under pressure, gets it away to Smid. Smid is down back to the original line of scrimmage, tackled by Pete Po-Ching. Flags go flying, maybe a personal foul. Late hit against the Hornets. 57 for the Hornets came in there kind of late. I'm not sure who got the call. Might have been Tommy Houts.
I'm sure it was. Right near the end of the play, Tom did brush off a blocker and push him down, and it wasn't anything flagrant, but it was right in front of the referee, and they called it. I think the referees are saying we've got to get control of this game a little bit more. Well, we did get a chance to get the ref mic on that play. But both teams have been hitting a lot right to the end of the whistle. It's kind of like the whistle, the referee's taking the breath in to blow the whistle, and they're making hits still. So it's been right on the cuff, and they want to put a little cap on it.
And another first down inside the 30 for the Gauchos. 27-yard line. First down now for Douglas. Back in the shotgun, setting up a screen over here to Salinas. He's got room to run. Carter looking for him. Finally knocked down by Tom House, but not before he picks up about 6 yards and a good play on first down. We've seen that several times already this afternoon.
Well, they're not going to be able to live by the screen, but they're not afraid to come back and do something that's working for him. He's going to do a semi-roll and turn around back over here to get the ball. And of course, Salinas has been a real good receiver for him. He caught their touchdown pass, the 15-yard touchdown pass that went through. He has been really potent for them from coming out of the backfield.
And the Gauchos would like to pick up some more points here. They've had great field position and 4 Hornet turnovers to do so. Thrown over there to Cage. A good throw, a dangerous throw, but a reception made inside the 15 at the 14-yard line will be first down.
That was a dangerous throw because I really thought that was going to be picked off. It was up in the air an awful long time. He stared at the receiver, and I don't know whether it was maybe the sun or something was blocking Liddell Glenn. He just didn't get a chance to drive on the ball as well as he normally does.
At any rate, that will bring up another first down for the Gauchos inside the 15-yard line this time. And they have time, 2 minutes, 3 seconds to go here, second period of play. The Gauchos and Mike Douglas, Eldridge, and Salinas in the backfield. Give it to the second man through. That's Salinas. He fights forward for about 3 yards. Going over the left side of that offensive line, something the Saddleback Gauchos like to do. At least they've shown that tendency in 1984.
Well, coming into the game, they showed that no matter where they were, no matter what sort of formation they might be in, they're going to run to their left side. They have a lot of confidence with that. That's unusual because most teams are either tight end oriented or they're right-handed. In this case, they're left-handed, so they are breaking a few of the rules there.
Douglas with Eldridge in the backfield. Sussenjar to slot to the left. Now movement to the right side, going for the corner for Schmid. Almost caught but knocked down. Jimmy Chambers on the coverage for the Hornets. The ball was right there, but pretty good defensive structure by cornerback Jim Chambers.
Jimmy was in as good a position as you can be in a cornerback that situation, and then he's got to look back up and find the sun too. Get a chance to see the replay here. It's just they call the lob job. Throw it up into the corner, let the receiver run for it. You can see Jimmy's right there with him. Even if Jimmy hadn't been, it would have been tough for the receiver to be able to keep his feet inside bounds to be able to make that a good reception.
And Douglas put it right there where it should be, back of the end zone at the flag. It's either a completion or out of bounds. Third down now. Big play for the Hornet defense. Shotgun formation for Saddleback. Douglas with pressure from Houts. Tommy has him again. Tom Houts' second sack of the afternoon, pushes him way back to the 23-yard line, makes that field goal for number 73, Tracy Rutkowski, just a little bit longer.
That's exactly right. I was just noticing that myself. He's going to have to kick a 35-yard, 37-yard field goal here, and that's no easy chip shot for anybody. And he has not had to kick an awful lot of field goals. We see the replay here. Big sack, of course, again, coming up over the center position because that's where Houts is coming off the right side.
Setting at the 29-yard line, that'll make a 39-yard attempt. Rutkowski, 7 of 11 on the year. No good off to the right, so the Gauchos draw a blank on that possession, and the Hornet defense holds.
Big sack. Boy, you really see what happens when a little 10-yard, 15-yard difference will make, because if he was a lot closer, he doesn't have to worry about the length. He knows it's going to go there. He can concentrate more on accuracy. When you've got to try and boot that ball harder, it takes away from your accuracy, and it really paid dividends for the Hornets.
And 29 seconds to go here in the second period of play. 7-0 Gauchos. The Hornets might just want to go in here and forget these first 2 periods of play. They may just say, look, this has not been the best 2 periods we've played all year long, so let's take it in right now. 1st and 10. Ball at the 23-yard line. Now has Charles Ray in the backfield. Pitches to Ray. Ray back inside, reverses his field, but he's made some company, and a good block over there made by the Hornets. Ray back to the 30-yard line.
Boy, that's a great block by Ken Nash to come back and make that play, number 80 for the Hornets. That's what only great backs can make that type of reverse their field and go all the way back across. Good speed took him all the way back. I'm glad we got a chance to see that. You can see that Prisborowski, number 44, is going to come in motion here to the bottom of the screen. They give the pitch out. He gets it all tied up. He can't go, and he says, well, let's try the other side. He goes back over and picks up a great block right there by Kevin Nash, sprung him forward to get the 6 yards out of the play.
And Kenny just got his helmet inside to avoid a clip on that play, too. And we're going to see a second down. The Hornets have called a timeout. Just a few seconds left, so they might try to go up top here and see if they can get something, salvage something out of this. Although you take a look at what's happened here in the first 2 periods of play here in the 1984 Pony Bowl, and you have to believe that the Hornets are lucky if they go into the halftime here only down 7-0.
Well, yeah, they're fortunate because with all the turnovers that they had, they should have been a lot higher than that. And I'm sure that, and we got a shot there earlier of Coach Don Butcher down there for the Saddlebacks. He's been their linebacker coach. He usually calls signals in their defenses. He's the one who looks like he's flapping his arms, similar to what Coach Jesperson does for the Hornets. He is, of course, concerned with the fact that they give up that type of play. They pursue. When a team pursues really well, then they are vulnerable to someone cutting back. They're vulnerable for the reverse, too, and his team has been doing a good job today.
Let's see if the Hornets try to go up top. Grimm to the top of your screen. Ray in a slot. Kenny Nash also in there at the bottom. Ray in motion. Mal back to throw, and he's seen a lot of pressure. Short screen to Charles Ray to the 40-yard line, still on his feet. Fights forward to the 48-yard line, but not enough. Second period of play ends. The Hornets trailing here in the 1984 Pony Bowl, 7-0. Jeff, any quick comments on the first 2 periods?
Well, I think as we've seen through the whole thing, it's been a real defensive battle. A lot of turnovers. The Hornets, of course, gave up those 4 turnovers early in the game. The defense for the Hornets has really settled down and done a good job of shutting off the Gauchos. The Hornets are going to have to regroup offensively and figure out what they've got to do to put some points on the board. It's anybody's game at only 7-0.
And the man who may have a few things to say in there, Hal Scherbeck, 24th year as head coach at Fullerton College. And we had a chance earlier in the week to talk to Hal Scherbeck, and we thought we'd bring him up close and personal to you and take a look at the winningest active JC football coach in the nation.
What does it take to become the winningest JC football coach in the nation? How can one college rack up 3 national championships and develop 87 JC All-Americans? Well, if you come to Fullerton College real early or stay late at night, you can find the answer. It takes time and dedication to maintain a winning tradition, and Coach Hal Scherbeck gives plenty of both.
I think winning programs come with winning people, and that's what I've been fortunate enough to have. My time schedule is one in which I spend a lot of time, but it's fun and I enjoy it, or I wouldn't do it. And
other women.
You always erasing your taxes. What's going on?
Their summer wedding plans are in jeopardy.
Please.
Lie detector determined.
And the results are in. It's an hour of unforgettable family lie detector tests right now.
Everyone, this is Net. Welcome Net to the show. Now, so, backstage is Net's fiance of 8 years, Tashawn. And with the help of a lie detector test today, Net hopes to solve a family sex mystery. You see, Net believes Tashawn.
for young men, well, then it's all worthwhile.
Over the last 4 seasons, the Hornets have a record of 36-4-1. They've won 2 conference championships and a national championship. But winning does create additional pressure. Everyone expects a win every week.
I've indicated sometimes I wonder if maybe winning is something that takes on a different perspective at times, and some of the things that we sometimes expect of players, if they appreciate it, that maybe we are critical of them, and it's not that we don't love them, it's that we expect a little bit more from them. But it does get to a point where you wonder, would it be easier on to maybe not worry about winning every week and just go out and do the things that you can do and let the dice roll the way they might, you know.
Over 400 Hornets have received 4-year scholarships, and Coach Scherbeck takes pride in preparing his players for life after their football careers.
The thing that, you know, we remember wins, and we remember championships and so on, but I think the biggest thing is when we all as coaches have some people come back that maybe we feel that maybe we touch some way or another, and that they've been successful not only in business